Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Falcons, the Men of Northeast Catholic. And I have a distinguished gentleman with me today. And your name, sir?
My name's Jack Donnelly,
And what year did you graduate North, Jack?
1946.
And how about the neighborhood and parish you went to?
Well, I lived on the boulevard. I went to St. Ambrose, and I went from St. Ambrose to North.
So let me
I
ask
had
you a
a choice,
question.
I had a choice between LaSalle and North.
Okay, well, that rolls right into my next question is, between the two schools, why did you choose North Catholic?
Well, at North, I got a scholarship. I mean, less Catholic. LaSalle, rather. I'm sorry. LaSalle gave me a scholarship, half year, part tuition. But all my friends were going to North. Everybody I knew from St. Ambrose was going to North Catholic. So I went to North Catholic. And 2 years later, my brother graduated from St. Ambrose, and he went to LaSalle. He was a big basketball star at LaSalle.
You don't know about your brother.
Back in 48 and 49.
48.
And around then. But the reason I picked North mainly was, because I knew more people there than anywhere, and I liked the school. I went and took a trip around. Of course, they started me at the annex. You probably don't even know what the annex was, do you?
Yeah, when I don't know. What's the annex back then in your years?
St. Joachim's was the annex. St. Joachim's is up there under the L practically on Frankfurt Avenue. I think it's still there.
It is.
But what parish did you go to North from?
I actually graduated from St. Adalbert's Parish down in Port Richmond.
Oh, St. Adalbert's? Oh, did you?
Yeah. Now, I was told a couple of guys, I actually interviewed a guy, 52. His name is Robert Mahan, or he says man. So he had mentioned, I guess, with you saying St. Joachim's being the annex, he said sometimes some of you guys didn't even get to go to school at the North Catholic building because there were so many students.
Oh, it was the biggest Catholic school in the city, I know, but maybe in the country. They had more, that was the highest graduating class I think they ever had my year. Lots of kids. Your claim to fame was you had, I forget how many kids we had, I think like 6,000. But it was a lot. And, but St. Joachim's was, like I said, there was I shouldn't say two annex. My freshman year, I went to St. Joachim's. And some of my friends who went to North Catholic their freshman year, they went right to the big house, as they called it. The main building. They called that the big house. So I didn't go there until sophomore year. Sophomore, junior, yeah. And all of us at St. Joachim's were sophomores at the big house. Which was compared to a small school like St. Joachim's, the elevator went by practically every 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. So Jack, when you went to North Catholic, did you participate in any sports or any clubs?
Yeah, I did. I was on the swimming team with Joe Vidor. Joe Vidor was an All-American and a Olympic swimmer. He was a year ahead of me. And then I was on the basketball team my freshman year and the JV team my sophomore year. And then me and the coach had a disagreement. And that was the end of my basketball days at North Catholic.
So who was your basketball coach back then?
Phil Luby.
Okay.
His name will go down in infamy as far as I'm concerned.
Known as what? And why does that happen?
Well, he was a pain in the ass. Yeah.
That is great.
John, I'll tell you how bad he was. I don't know about when you went, but when I went, once a year, the seniors played the faculty basketball. And, every year they played basketball. Well, when I got cut from the varsity, it was my senior year. And one of the coaches, I said, well, I don't care when you put me in, but I want to play Phil Luby.
You wanted to guard him, huh?
I wanted to guard him. And everybody laughed about it. It was a big joke sitting by the bench. And I kept saying, come on, let me get in there. Luby's out there now. And he finally gave in. And first time Luby came down the court, I knocked him on his ass. Now I got to tell you, I was about 5'8" at the time. Luby was over 6 foot. But I put him in the stands.
God bless you.
And the principal who was at the game made him take me out of the basketball game because I shouldn't have done that. He didn't have to tell me I shouldn't have done it. I knew I shouldn't have done it. But Phil and I ran into Phil some years later, of all places, at a police station in Tacony.
Oh, wow.
Somebody was in an accident, and I ended up going over to help out with the guy, and all of a sudden, who came walking into the court but Phil. By that time, I think I was married and had a couple of kids. But Phil recognized me, and I sure as hell recognized him. And, when somebody says there's stuff about North Catholic, I always say, well, maybe I don't remember everything, but I remember Phil Luby cutting me from the varsity and me going after him.
You should have asked him to play one-on-one again somewhere.
Yeah. But I was on the swimming team, and almost anything that came up, I went out for it. I went out for JV football, and I weighed 110 pounds.
Oh, wow. So where did the swim team? Where'd you guys practice and play at?
Where, North Catholic?
Yes.
For football?
For swimming.
Oh, for swimming, we used to go to the Y in Germantown Avenue.
Okay.
Down around Germantown, Broad and Germantown, block off. There was a Y had a swimming pool, and that's where you went. I can't remember. Joe Kirk was the coach, and Joe Kirk is the one who was responsible for Joe Vidor going to the Olympics.
Wow.
If you look Joe Vidor up, you'll see. I don't know if my daughter looked him up. I thought he still held the record or something, but maybe he doesn't. But for quite a while, he held the record.
Elaine, do you hear him?
Yeah, I can't remember how long ago.
Elaine's looking for it now.
So during your era, Jack, how was all your guys' sports teams? Did you guys make any championship appearances, any playoff appearances?
That's sorry. You had to ask that. Huh?
Well, we got to know. We want to know your history.
Well,
your story.
my claim to fame was the 4 years I went to North Catholic. They never won a championship. All right. The football team was probably as close as it came. But the basketball team, no. They all had good players.
Yeah.
No.
I guess the competition was just a little bit better. So who was your rivalry back then? I'm hearing a lot of it was like Northeast Public.
Our rivalry was West Catholic.
Oh, okay.
If North was playing West in anything, it was always a crowd showing up for the game. What year did you say you got out?
I graduated in 1992. I'm older than you.
By a year or two.
By a year or two.
Yeah.
So Jack, when you were at North, who was your favorite teacher back then? Like who stood out to you the most?
I had a couple of buddies there who were good, but Father Brennan. Father Vernon J. Brennan. He was like a disciplinarian or something like that, and he and I were very good friends. And he had an office there on the second floor. And when I had study period, I would go in his office. I had the key. So he and I were pretty buddies. And then we rented a house down the shore, and he would come and stay there quite a bit for a weekend, a week. And then a couple of years later now, probably 1948, 49, he was considered the chaplain for the lifeguards.
He made himself.
Father Brennan. He made himself captain. They used to ride him up and down the beach in that go-kart Ray had, you know. But Brennan was, I only had him 1 year, but he and I became very good friends. And there's a couple others they went to judge, you know, are now oblates who were a judge. And 3 of my kids went to judge. And 1 went to Doherty.
First one went to Doherty.
And the girls all went to Little Flower.
Wow. So I'm noticing that real snazzy looking sweater you have there. Would you be able to? Can we actually see a full size of that?
It says,
Wow. That's awesome.
let me tell you something.
He has about 10 of them.
If it's my birthday, if it's even a wedding anniversary, my kids give me something from North Catholic. My closet down in Wildwood probably has more T-shirts and sweatshirts
Yes, it does.
with North Catholic hanging on it. And what do we get, Dad? We get him another North Catholic shirt.
And I love that jacket. That jacket behind you, is that a wool jacket?
It's
Yes.
it is.
No,
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the jacket behind you.
Oh, that's great. That jacket.
Yeah.
One of the,
You can see it in you get the Falcon, the alumni newspaper.
I haven't, because I haven't updated my status with the alumni yet. I just been so busy with work and getting ready to retire. I retire in 5 years, so we've been real busy at me and my wife. So
You retire in 5 years?
yeah.
You're gonna be pretty young for retiring, right?
I will be 54 when I retire.
Yeah,
Oh my
I was
God.
65 when I
Yeah.
retired.
My wife and I are both police officers, so we got in when we were 25 years old. So we got in at a really good time.
Oh, is that it? When
Yeah.
you were what, 25 years old?
I just turned 25, both my wife and I, because we had the same birthday. We turned 25 while we were in a police academy.
Oh,
what was the date, if you don't mind, John?
and she went to Hallahan.
And she went to Hallahan. My wife and I were born in May of 1973, May 31st.
I was born May 15th.
See that? See how much we have in common, Jack?
May 15th.
How about that?
The more I look at this picture, the more I got a feeling I saw you wandering around at one of those North Catholic reunions.
Hey, like I said, I do my part for everybody, and I try to video and I try to capture moments, you know, of guys, meeting with classmates or teachers, and you know, and that's exactly why we're doing this. We're trying to keep our memory alive, you know. So I'm just doing my part again.
I think everything comes to me from North Catholic. I either buy or take chances on, or you know.
Oh, yes.
I'm a big alumni friend. I'm all for it. When I go out down in Wildwood, I don't care where I'm going. 99 times out of 10, I'm wearing something that says North Catholic. And 9 times out of 10, 2, 3, 4 people come up and say, "Yo, whoa, I went to North Catholic. What year did you get out?" You know, and then when I say 46, they go, "Wow, whoa," you know, they probably get out in 75 or 80.
Well, I'll tell you what, seeing somebody that graduated from the class of 46 is such an honor and a privilege, to be honest with you. And I was so stoked about when I finally got in touch with your daughter through Mike McBride. I couldn't wait for it today. I was actually really excited. But I have to ask you one question. Besides the shirt and the jacket, did you bring any other memorabilia that you could show us today?
I don't know if we have any here, do we?
Oh, no.
It's all down the shore.
Well, there's
It's down the shore.
It's the Wildwood.
I see. I'm up staying with my daughter.
Okay.
I live down the shore these days. I have a
Nice.
place in Wildwood
Jack,
that I've had for 25 years.
you still have your classroom. I have your classroom.
And,
That's the oldest thing.
you know, once I retired when I was 65. So that's a long time ago. And, you know, I've been living down the shore most of the time. Now with this virus thing going on, one of my daughters, insisted I come here and stay at her place.
Say we.
You know, we have 4 boys and 4 girls in that order.
I'll tell you what, my wife and I, we had a combined family because we were, you know, previously married. So we had 7 kids. We had her 3, my 3, and my little guy.
Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
7 kids.
Yep. Yep.
Well, like I said, our first 4 kids were boys, and the second 4 were girls. After the 4th boy was born, I waited for the guy who was delivering the kids, who had delivered the first 3. And I was sitting in the lobby in the hospital, and I wanted to wait for him. And when he came down and said, "You got another boy," I wanted to punch him.
Especially if he was a Frankfurt guy or LaSalle guy, you would have really had to whack him one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, you know, mostly when if it's a birthday or something like that, let's call that North Catholic store and see if we can get something from North Catholic. I have shorts that say North Catholic. Down the shore, we got a big closet in our bedroom, and my God, if I reach him blindfolded, I'm bound to pull out someone North Catholic.
That's awesome. So, Jack, what would be your fondest memory of North Catholic, whether it was the first year, the second year, third, or fourth? But what, out of all the years you attended North Catholic, what would have been your fondest memory?
That's a good question.
You really enjoyed all 4.
You know, I can think of a lot of them, but for years when I talked to somebody about North Catholic, I talked about that story I told you before about me and the coach, me and Luby.
That's a classic. That would definitely be a classic.
Well, the big classic about it was when I told you I saw him years later at a police station.
Yeah.
It was because my brother had wrecked up my car.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I was at the police station in Tacoma, and Phil came in. Not because of me, he didn't know I was even there at the time.
Wow.
But he was a politician.
So, Jack, you mentioned that a lot of times, people see you down the shore and they ask you what year you went to. You guys can correlate stories, whatnot. But let's say somebody who's heard about North Catholic, and you whether you're at a restaurant or a bar and you're sitting down, and he comes to you and says, "Hey, Jack, what was it like to be a North Catholic Falcon?" What would you tell him?
Well, for me, other than the fact that I would have, if I had gone to LaSalle, I would have played more sports. And the only thing I ever regretted was that, I could have gone to LaSalle, but I didn't regret it long. The guys at North Catholic that I went with were all great guys. It was fun. I shared a locker with the same guy for 4 years. He and I had the same locker. He played on the football team, and we shared a locker for sophomore, junior, senior.
And he was in your wedding.
And I used to see him every Christmas morning for 50 years. He was the first one to walk in my door at my house.
Oh, wow.
Was that guy. He died a couple of years ago. But he would be the first one in the house Christmas morning.
So I got a little acronym for you. JUG, Justice Under God. How was Jack Donnelly back then? Was you a good kid, Jack, or did you do a stint in JUG? How was it back then for you?
I got JUG a few times. One time I got more than JUG. I did something and I can't remember the priest's name, but I must have gave him a smart ass answer, and he hit me right across the face. He slapped my face, and he had a ring on, and he cut me on his cheek. You'd have thought he killed me because he almost had a heart attack right then and there when he saw the blood coming out of my cheek after he had hit me. And it was over nothing. It was over, I think, me bringing a newspaper into a class for some reason. But that one thing, it's always, between that and Phil Luby cutting me from the basketball team, they were the 2 biggest things I had.
Wow.
When I went there, if they had the largest class, which they did, I wouldn't be surprised that I knew 1/3 of them. you know, just from being active and things in school
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
So I know during your guys' tenure at North Catholic, the country was going through some tough times. I guess we had just entered World War I or World War II. Did you have any friends that wound up getting drafted, and you know, how'd that fare?
Yes, I got drafted.
Oh wow! So
Oh,
where did you
for
serve?
that? No.
I was drafted for 1 day because then they found out my age was too young.
Oh wow!
But I was at the train station when they found it out, getting to go
We had
away.
we had too many
And
kids.
and I was married 3 times they drafted me. The second time I had 2 kids. They weren't taking people with 2 kids. The third time I had 3 kids. And I said to the guy, I don't know which is worse, me having more kids to keep me out of the army or you. It was a big joke back then that when I would walk in the door to the administration building where you went after you signed up, everybody, half of them guys that worked there, and they'd say, "You back again, Donnelly? What are you doing here?" I said, "They keep." The first time they sent me a notice, I went home. My wife saw it. She cried for 2 days, thinking I was putting away in there. And then all of a sudden, I had to go through that one, and I went to the train station, and then this sergeant announced over a loudspeaker, anybody who was 18 before May the 15th, come up here. And there had to be a couple hundred guys here. And I was talking to somebody I knew, and the guy said to me, "When's your birthday?" I said, "May 15th. He said, "Did you hear what he said?" I said, "No." So he told me what he said. So I walked up to the sergeant, and I guess what you expect, he was a smart ass, the sergeant. "What do you want?" I said, "Well, you just called me." He said, "I don't even know your name. How can I call you?" I said, "You said anybody whose birthday was after May the 15th, May the 15th or after. Let me see your papers." So I gave him my papers, and he looked at the papers, and he shoved them back in my hand and said, "Go home. We don't want you." Now, I had just had a big party for me going in the army,
Oh wow!
and I didn't want to go home. I felt like, whoa, what are they going to say? You know, so I made a big joke of it and said they threw me out.
Thank you for
And then a couple of years later, my name came up again.
They really wanted you, but they couldn't keep you.
They kept saying, you know, you keep having another kid every year. After 3, they quit bothering me. So, you know,
That's some good
no,
stuff.
I never did get in the army.
So you never served in any of the branch any services?
No.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
No.
So, you know, it's been a tough year with the pandemic, and everybody's been shut in. There was no Northern Summer Reunion. So another reason why I got this done. So while we're all still sitting home doing anything, you know, this is going to be uploaded to YouTube and shared with all the, you know, North Catholic faithful. What does Jack Donnelly have to say to all the North Catholic graduates out there today?
Well, my first thought would be that they were very lucky. These days, when my boys went to high school, they went to judge for 3 of them went to judge, and 1 went to dockery. But then you went where your parish was, you know, back then. Like my oldest kid is 70, right? And then they go from 70 to 50. So I had 8 kids pretty close together. You know, they weren't all that, a couple of years apart each.
Okay.
But I would have told somebody to go no. I felt bad. I went by there when they started this stuff about closing it and all that jazz. I went there, and one of the priests they were still in the house where a couple of them lived next door. And when I didn't know him, he was a young guy. He let me in to see the place. Now this is 50 years after I got out, and it didn't look a damn bit different than it did when I went there.
Yeah, they
I,
did it.
don't forget, my brother and I were 2 years apart. And I was so glad I took North Catholic instead of LaSalle.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time at North Catholic.
So what do you have to say to all the graduates and that stuff out there today that are going to watch this video? Do you have a message for everybody?
Well, the biggest message I got is just don't forget the school. I take chances every time they send me something. I get involved with the alumni. The big Mahaf of the alumni just died
Leonard Knobs.
2 weeks ago, I guess.
Leonard Knobs.
A month ago, what?
Leonard Knobs.
Yeah, maybe you did him too, Lenny Knobs.
Yeah, I know Lenny. Yep.
Well, he just died.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah. Well, he was in St. Martin of Tours Parish where I was.
Now, Jack, were you inducted into the Hall of Fame?
No.
Oh, I thought Mike was telling me you were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
The Joker's Hall of Fame, maybe. That's the only. I've had people go get a 1946 yearbook, and then actually I've been 1943, my freshman year, and I used to kid people. The only time my picture was in the yearbook was when I was on the freshman basketball team. And when JV, I was absent the day they took the pictures. And the swimming team might be the other, but you'd have to pick me out of a bunch of guys.
You were so small.
For the swimming school. I was a midget back then. I'm over 6 foot now, but back my 4 years in high school, I never got any taller than about 5'8". The girls used to like that.
Wow. Well, we're cutting close to our time allotted. I just want to take this time to thank you, thank your daughter, and thank your wife for letting us share our stories today. And I hope all you guys stay safe and stay healthy. And I hope to see you guys at the Northern Summer Reunion at Keenan's this July 2021.
Well, if I'm still here, I'll look for you.
You'll be here, Jack. You'll be here. I got faith in you.
Do you go to Wildwood, do you?
I do, sir. I actually have a place, a Driftwood campground, and my
where?
wife, Driftwood. It's a campground right off of Route 9 and 83.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have a place there?
Yes, sir. It was my mom's, and then I took over her area and bought a fifth wheel. So I stay there and drive into the island.
Because you got to be careful driving.
Yeah.
And drinking.
Hey, if you have to Uber, you Uber.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
All right, Jack. Well, you guys take care. God bless you guys, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Thanks very much for finding me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Take care.
Listen, my wife asked me a question.
Go ahead.
I know you're not going to know. How old's your mother?
Oh, she passed on.
She went
So
down.
I'm thinking my mom is probably in her late 60s, maybe early 70s.
Oh, well, of course, that's no way for you.
Now?
Yeah.
I think my mom was born. I don't know. I don't want to say it on recording because she might come up and pop me one.
I can understand that.
What parish was she from?
My mom was also St. Adalbert's Parish as well.
St. Adalbert's.
That's
Yeah,
like
so
Port
we
Richmond.
grew up. Yeah, we grew up in Port Richmond in the Mother of Divine Grace Parish. But as you guys know, back then you had to be of the right ethnicity to attend certain parishes. So we were
Yeah,
Polish, so we had to go
Yeah.
to St. Adalbert's.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. On Allegheny Avenue.
Yes. Yep.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah, Jack, it was great. And again, I just want to thank everybody.
I know I'm going to hear from the guy who gave you my name,
Who's that?
Mike.
Mike McBride.
Oh, he's waiting for the interview. So listen, when we finish this interview and I stop the recording, I have to ask you, in that nice shirt that you're wearing, maybe Helene can take a picture of you in it and send it to me because it'll be what's called a thumbnail and it'll show your picture in your shirt. And because sometimes when you do a thumbnail in a video, it might make you look like either me or you are doing some kind of a goofy face. So I want to if your daughter can take a picture of you in that shirt, that'd be awesome. And I can use that as the headline for the video. It even has like a premiere. It's like a countdown. So I'll get that guy's out to you real quick and you can watch it like a movie.
I'll take care of that for you, John.
My
right.
daughter said she'll take care of it.
Yep. So send me that picture and then that way I can get this uploaded. So
Okay.
you guys take care. God bless. And I can't wait to see you all.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
All right.